Hey, what up and welcome to another episode of Creased. Now, today we're going to be tackling designer collabs. And look, let's be honest, anytime we bring up any sort of designer sneakers, like, I'm taking a piss. Like,
I just can't see somebody in a position of power and style wearing those. I really can't.
because it feels like to me that both kind of want to be in each other's worlds but don't really know how to do it, and it's kind of awkward, and they just try a little too hard. But when they do these collabs, it kind of bridges the gap. Now, there's been a few of recent times. I want to say one of the first was Tom Sachs. If you call that a designer type thing, I think you can. The Tom Sachs Mars Yard had various iterations, and even recently they've just done another shoe, and they all look fucking terrible, in my opinion. But for whatever reason, they, the exclusivity, whatever, they garner a lot of interest. I still don't get it. Look, we're in the middle of editing and all that. The camera is literally right there. Well, that might be my other camera, I'm not sure. Can't remember. But I almost forgot about this bullshit from Tom Sachs. Then you had like Adidas doing the Y3 stuff, which was kind of like a hybrid designer Adidas type thing. Then you also had the Linda McCartney Adidas stuff, and look, I don't know, I just don't think it was that big of a deal at that time. Until
when I first started buying Jordans, I was at school, and it was like me and my friends used to share a pair because we couldn't afford to buy a pair ourselves, so we'd like have it part of the time. We'd wear them even if they were the wrong side for us because we were just such geeks about them. And it was just like most boys when they were really wanting shoes and it was hard to get them. This is my $8 find in the flea market in San Francisco.
Best for choices.
Exactly. How old am I? Like 30,
more than
35 years old.
Yeah.
I've got some here, which are the original ones from 1985 that I picked up in Japan a while ago. And these are completely worn out. People freak out because these are very, very rare. Then got Takashi Murakami to draw on them.
The AJ1 started sneaker culture. There is no other shoe than that. So people collecting shoes, people chasing shoes, it all started with the AJ1.
And this was the one that we really looked at for the Jordan when we were working on the project. We wanted it to be really authentic. I didn't want to change it up too much. I just wanted to make it
to look like an AJ1.
Yeah, exactly.
We kept the shape, same size of the stitching, 1 centimeter, 0.1.
This is a perfect collision of authenticity from the court, from the game, and then you're mixing this up with luxury and craft to a level that has never been done before. The choices of material, for example, it's material that we have never used.
When we started doing the Jordan, I was like, it has to be Dior grey.
It's the Mr. Dior color, and there is this little clin d'oeil to one AJ1 that is the neutral grey.
Basically it's constructed like a bag. The leather was Italian, so you have the edge painting as well. We have a larger swoosh on ours because we wanted to have the oblique very visible.
But the best part of it actually is when you take the sock liner out, the Strobel line has the Dior pattern in it as well. So every detail has been truly obsessed. So from the get-go, we knew that it can't just stop with the AJ1. It had to be a full collection. So we created an entire outfit from head to toe. We went to the archives both for Dior and Jordan, basically picking the best silhouettes and the ones that we are each best known for. The inspiration behind it, it goes right back to Michael Jordan on what he was wearing on and off the court. Jordan always had that sophistication as well as that street edge than any other player.
Nowadays, when you talk about things like why we do a sneaker with the couture house, it's what a modern man wears, so it makes sense to do it, and it's great to do it with your favourite sneaker of all time.
Until Dior collaborated with Jordan 1. And let's be honest, I never owned no Dior. I never tried to own any Dior. I didn't even try to own them. If I knew that they would essentially go from $1,000 to a house deposit, I might have at least tried. But they blew up. Every sneakerhead, every celebrity, influencer, whoever wanted some clout was after them joints. And I gotta admit, they look kind of dope. They really do. I've actually like done some Nike by You dunks to kind of go with that colorway because I like it. I like the icy sole. I like the grey and white. I kind of even like the little Dior swoosh, but from what I'm told, they're very, very stiff and very uncomfortable. So maybe it is just a look thing. And let's be honest, who really wants to be walking around in like, I think they're a $20,000 shoe. Could be wrong, but it's ridiculous, right? The low, the high. There was even talks there was going to be a Chicago of it, but I don't think anything ever came about. The next one that, again, there could be other stuff, but these are what I remember. The next one to come along was the Chanel Adidas. I don't think there was any fanfare for these, and to be honest, they're probably one of the better ones that Adidas has done. They're just luxurious materials on a shell toe. That's all we need when we do these collabs like the Kerwin Frost, like, I don't know, any collab that Adidas does, outside of maybe the Simpsons and the South Park stuff. When they do these like outrageous collabs, they never really hit. But this was the old adage of like, keep it simple, stupid, and it looked really dope. It just probably had a price tag to where people didn't want to pay for it. And if we're being honest, the originality was about as far as, say, the Supreme Air Force ones were. So then Balenciaga had to go with Adidas, and either it's come and gone really quick or it hasn't come out yet, I'm not too sure, but wasn't it? It just really wasn't. And it seemed to be that and another collaboration that Adidas were doing were announced around the same time, so it kind of drowned each other out. Now maybe it was a Nike thing, but maybe it was with Virgil passing, or maybe it's just because these are absolutely dope. But the Nike Air Force One, Off-White, Louis Vuitton collab, they're insane. Like, I said before that I didn't even try to get the Dior ones, knowing what I know now. And not even that, not even knowing what I know now. These are just so dope. I'm gonna have to try however I can get these. Certain pairs are being auctioned off at Sotheby's, certain pairs are only for friends and family. There's about I want to say there's like 50 different colorways that I've seen, but every single one of them is dope. Now I think the brown and white one is like your traditional Louis Vuitton. I feel like I like that one, but it's the green one for me. The green joints or the blue joints, they're the one I'm probably going to be trying for. I probably got Buckley's to no chance, because even like I tried to sign up for the Louis V Australia emails, and all I'm really getting sent is handbags. So let's see.
It's human nature to want to know what's around the corner. So I keep looking. Adidas, X, Gucci.
Everything, everybody, all the time.
I live in that fine line between genius and obsession.
Love is a kind of ritual and a language we learn to speak.
Image is what we get lost in. Truth is the superpower we escape with.
Adidas, X, Gucci.
One rule that I live by: you've got to be kind.
When your thoughts become reality, you understand what magic is.
Adidas, X, Gucci.
Then Gucci entered the fold and collaborated with Adidas. Now this was announced around the same sort of time as Balenciaga, so it was pretty hard to like concentrate on one, be excited about the other or whatever, but what Gucci did was they actually did a pop-up in Sydney, and last time I was down there I just randomly happened to stumble across it. So I'll show you a little bit of that footage right here. I actually asked at the door. There was security stopping you at the door, even though there was fuck all people in there. There seemed to be more people working there than what there was, like, punters. People had canapes, they had drinks. There didn't seem to be any price tags on anything, and I just overall felt uncomfortable. Like, that wasn't my scene at all. Like, when I say that I've been followed around stores since I was a young kid, I've never been followed around a store and felt this uncomfortable. Like, I'm just trying to look at some shit and like get some content, and like they didn't care about the filming, but they were just like, I don't even know, they're just like, I don't know. But look, if I gotta be honest, the shoes were a little lackluster. This is a sneaker show YouTube channel. The shoes really didn't do it for me, right? But I'm just curious. I'm like having a look at them. They look decent quality. I think they were Gazelles and maybe some other stuff. And then they had like some clothing, and it literally just looked like stuff that had come out in the 70s. But now somehow it's Gucci, and somehow it's worth crazy amounts. Now, all of this stuff, I believe, as exclusive as they were saying at the event and telling me very limited numbers, I'm pretty sure it's all still available online, and the prices are insane, like absolutely insane. There was handbags, shoes, t-shirts, pants, shorts. Like the t-shirts looked like something you'd be wearing in the 70s. Like the sleeves coming up here, it looked like it could almost be midriff for like men. And the shorts were like tiny little old school running shorts from like the 60s and 70s. But somehow they're able to like charge those prices. Now I don't know if it's like, you know, because it's Gucci, because of this, they're gonna break it two different ways. If they're using crazy materials, the materials didn't look that crazy to me, especially on the clothing. The clothing just looked like I said, like some retro shit that you would see that a couple of years ago just sitting in Vinnie's. But the whole experience was kind of cool. I didn't stay that long because I still wanted to do some things, and this was the night that I didn't actually pay for parking and I was running the gauntlet. So yeah, it was very weird. I've never really stumbled across one of these things. There was a DJ that had like a weird fitting room that was just kind of one of those old school fold out joints. They had champagne canopies and all this, and I wasn't offered anything of that. Someone was literally brought to me to take me into the store, even though it was just a tiny little room. I wasn't offered shit. They didn't want nothing for your boy. They didn't want nothing from your boy, like. But what they did have outside was like, kind of like, it was like running lanes, but leading up to a ramp, and then you had like ping pong. I don't know, it was a cool little activation and everything, but for me, I just guessed that what I said at the start, it's like two worlds trying to coincide with each other, and it's like one world is trying to make the other one think they're cool and vice versa, without knowing that the other one wants to be seen as cool by the other. So they're both just trying too hard and it never really fits. With the Chanel Adidas shell toes, like, that was just keep it simple, stupid, and they looked dope, but didn't set the world on fire. Dior Jordan 1s, nothing too crazy with the design, but they went off. It was a crazy silhouette, just with those little added touches. Louis Vuitton, Off-White, Air Force One, culmination of everything, plus Virgil passes away, like, these are gonna go insane. But deep down, I feel like all these brands, all they're really doing is something Dapper Dan was doing like 30, 40 years ago.
People used to buy bags and cut the bags up and put it on their clothes. They come in wanting to know what's in. Now, what's passe? Louis Vuitton is passe. Gucci is back in. Fendi is in. So most of the people, they'll be interested in those type of things. But what's mostly in is, like I say, is statement clothing.
Which is crazy because he went through all types of legal issues only to be brought back into the fold by Gucci years later. I don't know, man. But what do you guys think? Do you mess with these collabs? Do you not mess with these collabs? Have you liked any? Have you not liked any? Me personally, I feel like the Chanel shell toes were dope. I feel like the Dior Jordan 1s are dope. And the LV Air Force 1s, pretty dope. I'm just never gonna pay that type of money for them, me personally. I've got enough pairs of shoes to spend like $1,000 plus on one pair. Makes no sense to me, but it may for you. This has been another episode of Creased, and before we go, here's a little video of Little Yachty dancing up a storm in his Adidas Gucci. Peace. Little robot dude gonna be loud as fuck right now, but Look, again, we editing the video right now, and I'm realizing I said Chanel instead of Prada. Prada did the Air Force Ones. I'm really tired now. Adidas did a collab with Prada with the Superstar. They're dope. That's what I meant, not Chanel. Also, Stella McCartney, not Linda McCartney. Don't come for me.